Any of these plants look familiar? You may have seen these plants in people's backyards or parks and thought nothing of them. However, invasive plants threaten waterways and agriculture. But what is an invasive plant? It's any plant that's not native to an area that causes environmental harm or harm to human health. In the United States alone, invasive species cause $100 billion worth of damage to agriculture and habitat. This video is going to show you ways that you can stop this growing problem. Now that we know what an invasive plant is, how can you tell what's invasive and what's not? The best way is to do research before planting. There are many great resources that will let you know ahead of time if the plant you're looking to plant is invasive or not. The beplantwise.org website is full of great information, including a translator tool that lists different alternatives to invasive species. The Brooklyn Botanical Native Alternatives to Invasive Plants Guide is also a great source. Native plants support an ecosystem by allowing for biodiversity and providing food for native animals. For every invasive plant, there is a native alternative. They can give you the same benefits that an invasive species could, but without the danger to the environment.
As you're walking through an outdoor area, be careful not to carry along with you any unseen or undetected plant material. One of the ways these invasive non-natives spread is through seeds that attach themselves to clothing, in your hair, or on your gear. You move from one place to another and you've redistributed that invasive non-native to another place. When you're in a wilderness area, check your gear. Make sure you're not bringing anything along that you didn't intend to.
This is a patch of bamboo. Because it grows high and close together, it's commonly planted along fence lines to give people more privacy. Bamboo is one of the more difficult invasive species to control because of its rapid growth. Specifically, after rain, it is not uncommon for bamboo to grow a few feet in a short period of time. It is difficult to treat. Even after it's cut, bamboo will continue to grow. There are native alternatives that will provide the same benefits without need for constant monitoring.
If you must have an invasive plant, you need to monitor and control it carefully. Make sure you don't see new seedling growth outside of your controlled area. Monitoring and controlling is a continuous activity, as invasive plants will spread quickly and if left unchecked will overrun an entire area. Every plant is different. However, common techniques for controlling an invasive population include hand pulling, clipping, digging out of the roots, or applying herbicide on any excess plants. Do not share invasive plants with anyone. It's also important to dispose of any removed plants carefully. The best way to do this is to clip it before they produce seeds or fruit that can spread. You can also try freezing the fruits or seeds to make them unable to sprout. If your area permits it, burning the plant will also stop the spread of invasives.
There are simple actions we all can do to stop the spread of invasive plant species. Checking to make sure there are no invasives on our clothes after a day outside, and properly disposing of them when we find them will keep invasive plants from spreading. The best way to control this, though, is to plant native vegetation. Native vegetation allows for biodiversity and supports native animal populations, while invasive species will completely bully out other plants, destroying biodiversity and hurting the animal population. Because of this, we must take action.